To the southeast side of Los Santos lies the area of Davis, and just by taking a quick drive through the area, you can see the rough-looking condition of the buildings and many businesses. But why is Davis like this? Davis has room for housing, multiple businesses in and around the area, its own police department, and many more commodities that are crucial to a strong local economy. But it remains struggling in a state of constant gang wars and violence. So today, we will dive into the city of Davis and try to identify faults that could have led to its fall. Or maybe there are none, and Davis's demise is a making of its own. As previously mentioned, Davis has everything an economy needs to succeed, but it just didn't. Well, firstly, we need to state the obvious and acknowledge the sheer amount of gang violence that is present in Davis. Roughly about 3/4 of the city of Davis is occupied by one of the many gangs present in the city, including the Vagos, the Ballers, and the Families. Just these gangs being present in Davis is already terrible, but these gangs cause heavy amounts of violence, and from an outsider's perspective, this obviously does not look good, discouraging possible future residents of the city just by having that associated image. This being said, many of the residents of Davis are not there by choice. They are there due to the low cost of living, so the type of person living in Davis is likely to do whatever just to make ends meet, including crime. This leads to many of the residents joining gangs or having some sort of affiliation to a gang. And you think that the police would try to stop this gang violence, but as we will discuss later, it's not so cut and dry. Also, Davis is pretty poorly funded on a city level. Sure, it has the essentials that it needs to succeed, but there are almost no redundancies to stop any sort of structural issue, like crime, from plaguing the city. City officials do not try to remedy the problem with maybe a bigger budget or reinforcing core infrastructure designs because to them, Davis is already far gone. But is it really? Apart from the crime, Davis is not really a bad area. Sure, the streets are a bit rough and whatnot, but at its core, Davis has good weather, is close to downtown Los Santos, and has its own dedicated police force. If the city put together a strong enough gang unit to clean the streets and get criminals in jail, then Davis could maybe rebuild with time. This will not and cannot happen overnight though. Gangs are like plagues that don't go away very easily. It's a mentality for some people, and unfortunately, they likely think that this is the only way they can survive. But over time, as these gangs get disbanded and the people in charge of running these gangs get behind bars, the streets can start to heal. But why haven't they yet? Why hasn't action taken place yet? Does the city even want to fix the many problems plaguing Davis? You'd think the answer to these questions would be very simple. Of course the city wants to better itself. It wants a stronger economy and people. But maybe it doesn't. But now you may be asking why it doesn't. Well, when there is crime, generally speaking, there is money to be made by the government or local officials. Like when people get tickets, the city collects the revenue from it. And also when people are in jail, the city can argue to higher officials for more need of resources to house more people and whatnot. It also keeps the crime somewhat contained to the city of Davis. Sure, Los Santos is not exactly crime-free, but in a sense, the crime is somewhat contained in Davis to that extent. All of this could explain why action has not been taken yet on a city level, but is definitely not the definitive answer, just a strong theory. Before we move on, I'd like to take a second to appreciate the level of strange area design that takes place in Davis. So many streets do not make any sense at all, and I swear every time I go to Davis, I find a new street that makes even less sense than the street I saw prior. This is not to say that there are not areas of the map that have strange design as well, or design that doesn't make sense when you take a closer look, but in Davis, it happens more often. I don't know if Rockstar did this to convey the sloppy, neglected state of Davis as a whole, or if it is just the result of a rushed area possibly. But whatever the reason is, the result is certainly strange and comedic. Unfortunately, Davis didn't get that much representation in GTA 5's story. I get that the area is rather small and there is not much room to expand it, but I always felt like more could have been done with the area. Maybe have us tail someone in the Davis Mega Mall, which doesn't have an interior, and follow them into a house to recover drugs or something. The streets of Davis are also pretty small and intricate. A long police chase could have happened with us having to bail on foot and lose the cops that way. We possibly could have gotten this in GTA Online with the rumored Cops and Robbers update that never came to fruition, unfortunately. It is speculated that it never released due to the current state of law enforcement in America in real life at the time. It was just after the tragic death of George Floyd, and skepticism and hatred towards police was at an all-time high. But now all of that has died down, so maybe in the future we could still possibly get this update. There are so many creative ways the area of Davis could have been used, but just was not, unfortunately. But the area we do have is such a great canvas that can still be expanded upon. Also, a pretty well-known fact at this point is that Rockstar hired actual gang members and ex-gang members of Los Angeles gangs to do some voiceover work for some of the NPCs in-game for the area, which I still think is crazy and awesome at the same time. We can only hope that GTA 6 gets this same treatment, but only time will tell. Davis has such a homey feel to it that I adore, probably because a majority of my initial time playing Grand Theft Auto 5 was in Davis as Franklin. I remember missing school because I was sick, and staying home and playing GTA 5 driving around Davis as Franklin doing missions and whatnot. They are such good memories that I'm glad I had, and I wish they could be expanded upon today. But like mentioned earlier, Davis has kind of met its limits, at least for now. However, we have just gotten news as of me recording this video that Rockstar is releasing some sort of bounty hunter bail bond agent update. We don't know what this entails, but Davis is a great canvas for this update, and hopefully some unique missions take place here. But as I said, this is still ongoing and we don't know too much as of now, so we'll have to see. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to my channel members. If you'd like to support the channel and get some unique perks while you're at it, consider becoming a member by subscribing, which you should be already, like come on, let's not lie here. And it will be replaced by a button that says join. Click it for more details, and that is all. Once again, thank you all so much, and have a great day or night or evening, and goodbye.